Hello and welcome back to ProcrasCreationDIY, where we are taking this window and making it into a coffee table. I got this window at a local salvage yard and paid $35 for it, which I thought was still a little high, but I've never bought a window before, so who knows if I'm right. As well as this piece of plywood, and I bought some pieces of wood and had it cut into pieces for my legs, which we are putting together here. So my one piece of advice here, I got 8 pieces cut, so 2 per leg, and we just put them at a 90-degree angle. We tacked them down with the nailer, but then I had to go back and put actual wood screws into each leg to make sure that it held. So don't just use nailers. It's not going to work. It wasn't holding it very well. So again, as you can see, my husband and I are, we first wood glued the 2 pieces together, and then we tacked them on. And then, as I said, we went back and used screws to make sure that the nails took. So, this part is going a little fast. So I wanted a little trim around the outer edge in between the legs just to make it look neater. So as you can see, I'm measuring from the inside edge to the other edge. And that is where my camera dropped again, y'all. I have lost 2 pieces that hold my phone on top of my thing. I'm so upset. So anyways, that has nothing to do with this. Okay, so as I'm cutting the pieces of trim, I just used my miter saw just because they were thin pieces they're 1 by 2 pieces of trim. So didn't take a whole lot of muscle to do that. And as you can see, here is the table with the trim, with the board put underneath. I've used a piece of trim underneath that ply board. I end up having to put a little apron around it. You'll see a little later. Actually, you'll see right now. So there is an apron to help hold that together. Then I stained it. Then I put white chalk paint over top of this stain just so that I can go back and distress the window, distress the table. And as you can see, I'm sanding it to distress it, and I just used my sander. I was trying to do with the little sandbar, and this was quicker. So I did that. I also put some poly on this thing, and I will not do that again. It did not spread evenly, and I went to work and came back, and it didn't look good. So being that it's chalk paint and being that it's distress, I personally will not put a coat of poly on top of something like this again. But if that's what you do, that's what you do. So here, this is showing that I did use the mini wax polyurethane. But like I said, I didn't like it, so I ended up repainting it with the chalk paint, and then taking my sander and sanding some of that off again. So from there, the windows underneath are still kind of dirty looking. So I took or had my husband caulk the inside of the panes for me just so it'll give it a little bit cleaner look. And from there, we just kind of let that caulk dry, and then we put it in our new living room, and it looks good. So if you like this project, please, please, please subscribe, like my channel. Let me know if you have any questions or comments below. Thank you again. Subscribe, and we'll see you soon.